This show is totally a happy accident. It definitely is.
Uh, I mean, what better show to talk about after being in and out of ER last night? Because this is the art show with Captain Skinner is just bonkers. It is delightfully insane. I'm speaking with Skinner himself and director Art Cordell. Thank you guys so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Delightfully insane. I love that. That's a good quote. I'm gonna remember that. Thank you.
I have to know where this comes from. I mean, this is what happens. It feels like if Bob Ross and Pee Wee Herman get together and just try and figure something out, and it's wild. Where did it come from?
Yeah, I mean, Skinner and I did a show at this place called Super Deluxe, and where he and a celebrity guest would like each do a painting while having a conversation. And we just wanted to sort of do another show after that ended.
Mhm.
And Bob Ross is just one guy in an easel, and I figured we could do something similar, but like make it crazy and galactic and cosmic and weird.
Yeah, I think that in a way, um, the first show that we did, like I was able to kind of hide behind the celebrity a little bit and just sort of focus on them. And I think that like what happened was out of sheer, I mean, I'm, obnoxious and I want attention and everything, of course, but but like when we were filming the pilot thing for this, I kind of was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go for it and like talk and have fun and do my jokes and whatever. And it somehow worked out or whatever. And so, like, the thing that I find to be super creatively satisfying is that I got to actually just sort of do that and paint and draw like in the Bob Ross way. And then it got put through the Allen Cordell psycho filter. And then we just added like tons of different kinds of artists like stop motion and puppets and animation and all this stuff. So it's actually like a collage of many freakish people like making something, but Alan is sort of the ringmaster, like actually making it work and be coherent, which I'm grateful for because I can't do it. And I make a mess, you know what I mean? So yeah, but Pee-wee's Playhouse is the best when I was, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Growing up, that was like an iconic show. And I mean, so was Bob Ross. I had to laugh. I think there's a moment in I think it's the premiere where you even undercut Happy Accidents. It's like
Yeah,
um
there is
it,
happy accidents. They do happen.
Yeah, and you embrace them. You make it a moment out of them.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. I mean, this show is totally a happy accident. It definitely is.
well, I have to ask, is much of the work here that's on screen, is it improv or is it all well thought out before? Like, I mean, it is you at a canvas and you're painting over the screen, and I can see that you're not painting free form, you're or it doesn't look like you are. But like the conversation, how's that all unraveling?
Well, the drawing is drawn with pencil, then I airbrush on it. So I do have a guiding line. So I
Yeah.
know how to finish the painting, right? I know how to ink it and all this stuff. Now the kind of like talking part is a really large percentage of it is me just sort of ranting and rambling. But then because I'm literally painting for out like 2 hours, right? And Alan is helping me like, I don't know. He's like, hey, because I'll just stop talking sometimes for a while because I'm like very anxious about finishing the painting. I'm like, I gotta finish this, dude. We're gonna be here all day. And then Alan will be like, he'll give me some subject matter to talk about, or I'd be like, hey, what about that? What about this? So it's actually like this really good relationship where like he can kind of keep me going if I'm like if I'm stopping. But
Yeah.
the anxiety that I have sometimes when I've been painting for an hour or so and I see that the painting's not really close to being done, I start to freak out. So I'm like, ah, shit, so I have to, so it's, there's a lot going on. And Alan does a good job of like pushing and steering me, back onto my stuff. But it's pretty much freestyle, a lot of it.
Yeah, that said, we do go into each episode with a subject matter in mind. So I'd say it's about 25% like preparation and then 75% just Skinner riffing.
Hey,
Okay,
my wife is like, I'm glad that somebody else is, because that's what I do to her. All I do is, hey, babe, riffing and joking, and she's like, okay, this is okay. I got myself a little comedian here, I guess, so it's good to have an outlet.
well, it's interesting because you're right. I mean, there are different themes. Like the first two episodes are science and fear of the unknown. Like there's these are pretty big topics for a show like this. I mean, what is it about this style or these topics that you want to bring them up uh in a riffing manner? Like this is like I said, this is like to hear you riffing on fear of the unknown is wild and sounds in the midst of its insanity sounds like you're really getting at something about this idea. I wanted to know the relationship here.
I do a lot of therapy. No, but like the thing is that,
Fair.
this is like the insanity of the show is definitely like a Trojan horse for like deeper subjects. And so it's not supposed to just be like really like I'm a stupid idiot. Well, like, it's like laughing, joking, whatever, but then there's also, I mean, I don't know if the Space Cowboy is like kind of a vessel for some of the deeper stuff too, actually, where he's like, oh, the fear of the unknown, the real fear is that you don't know how to love yourself or whatever, and like I don't know if people catch it, but like, there's some deeper stuff going on, and I'm definitely pushing a lot of my therapy stuff into this show. So
I do love Space Cowboy. I have to admit I love Space
Space
Cowboy.
Cowboy is the hit. I think Space Cowboy might be the star, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, to go back to Pee-wee's Playhouse, he reminds me of Jambi. It was like this was the voice that Pee-wee had to go visit was the Jambi the genie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But either, yeah. Well, as you're throttling through space, I have to ask, Captain Skinner does ask the question of the scariest thing is finding out who you are.
Yeah.
And I wondered, since we're talking about this, like you said, the Trojan horse for deeper questions, I wondered if you think that's true.
I think that the fear of like finding out who you are or whatever is just the fear of like, is this gonna be good enough or whatever? It's not, it's like the whole idea of who we are is like, it's already happening. We already are who we are. It's just the accepting it or not, and that kind of depends on if like your parents were nice or whatever. And if they weren't, then they made you afraid to be yourself. And so we walk around kind of scared to be authentic because we're anticipating rejection. So that's, but that's it. In a nutshell, that's the fear of the unknown for real. But then I also am obsessed with cosmic horror. So, weaving those things together is well, Alan, he actually wove it together with the editing. I kind of was just talking for hours, which, clearly I can do that.
Alan, the editing is wild. I think the editing actually brings the show to life. I mean, Captain Skinner's the star, but it's the editing that sort of gives him voice.
Mhm.
Who is like, what is your inspiration for this particular style of editing?
Honestly, it's just like it's like I could edit it like a straightforward, person talking to camera, painting a thing. but like I don't know, it's just I just have so much fun just like emphasizing like a weird sound Skinner will make and then like zooming in on it. I don't know. I just want the editing to have like a personality and
Mm.
be a part of the voice of the show. Is just like the
Yeah,
insane.
there's two stars, the
Yeah.
editing and me, and then well, I guess the third one is Space Cowboy. But yeah, Allen's editing and everything he's doing is like definitely. I think like if you've made films or if you are a connoisseur of the things that go into making movies, you'll very quickly start to like kind of get to know Allen through the editing and stuff, I think.
Well, I love that. It feels like a signature. How can people catch Art Show with Captain Skinner?
Well, Etch, if you subscribe to Etch's Substack, they release new episodes via their Substack on Fridays, no, Mondays. And then, but then that Friday will be last week's episode that was exclusive on Etch will be on YouTube. That makes sense.
Yeah, so you can if you basically can get everything early if you subscribe. And it's like a couple bucks. So, supporting weird art, underground art, trippy people editing things.
Love it. And I'm sure you've made Jack Kirby proud with the squiggles, if you will.
Thank you very
And
much.
and Algernon Blackwood, that was a deep cut. I didn't that was interesting.
Yeah, Algernon Blackwood, The Willows, Wendigo. Yeah, you gotta, I mean, yeah, for sure. I could go deeper than that too, but I didn't want to nerd out too hard. I just, I love weird tales.
Well, honestly, the show is, like I said, deliciously insane. It is wild. It is just nuts and in a good way.
Thank you.
Honestly, thank you so much for the time, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve.